Living with ADHD can be a challenge, and dating with ADHD is definitely a challenge, we've heard many of you say. But finding the right care and proper tools needed to succeed can be life-changing. Done is an online ADHD care platform that can get you all the resources you need to help manage your ADHD. Online visits, refills, and a 24/7 care team made for you. In just 1 minute, Done's online assessment can help kickstart your ADHD treatment journey. With experienced clinicians, worry-fill refills, and online visits, you can start getting personalized care as soon as today or tomorrow. So contact an expert team that can help you around the clock and get a personalized treatment plan just for you. Here's how you do it. Take a free 1-minute assessment and book an appointment with a licensed ADHD clinician as soon as the next day. Get continuous care, one-click refills, insurance coverage, and 24/7 care team support with Done for just $79 a month, and pharmacy copays as low as $0. Visit get.donefirst.com/podcast to learn more. That's get.donefirst.com/podcast to learn more. Done. Turn ADHD into your strength.
I was so excited to get my shipment from Last Bottle Wines in the mail the other day, full of incredible red wines, all from Napa Valley. I love wine tasting, so having this to my door couldn't be happier. Also, couldn't be more excited that today's episode is brought to you by Last Bottle Wines. If you don't know already, they're a Napa-based online wine shop with a twist. They offer just one handpicked wine per day until it sells out, and they're always at incredible prices. We're talking 30 to 70% off retail. And the best part is that there's no subscriptions, no fees, and no minimum purchase. And I could not be more excited to bring this offer right now because they're having a marathon sale, which is coming up March 28th and 29th. Even better, we're offering Dateable listeners 10% off your first order with code DATEABLE. So if you are a wine lover like me, this is a great time to join. And did I mention that shipping is 100% free? So what are you waiting for? Mark your calendar for March 28th and 29th, or get on it earlier if you want. You can sign up at lastbottlewines.com and use code DATEABLE and find out why Last Bottle is the most fun way to discover and buy amazing wine.
The Dateable podcast features real stories from real people of how they make modern dating work, or not. I'm your host, Yue, former dating coach turned dating insider, if you will. On each episode, you'll hear commentary from my producer, Julie Kraftchick, and other surprise co-hosts. This episode of Dateable is brought to you by 500 Brunches. 500 Brunches connects like-minded people with similar interests to meet in real life over brunch. You answer a quick questionnaire about your interests and how you spend your time, and then they'll match you in small groups of 6 to 8 at a brunch spot in San Francisco. Get a free entry into a brunch now by signing up at 500brunches.com and using the code DATEABLE. Hey everyone, welcome to the final episode of 2018 for the Dateable podcast. Here's another round of catch-up sessions with some of your favorite past guests. Last week we caught up with Shelby from Two Blind Dates, Chris, who fell in love with his Uber driver, Farah, who is no longer getting breadcrumbed, and our OG co-host Michael Vargas, who seems to be dating someone who may not be completely divorced. Well, this week, let's start with Kat, who appeared on season 5, episode 8, the one where she confronts controversial guest Jake about his interesting views on dating in San Francisco versus New York. At the end of that episode, Kat announced that she quit her job and packed up her life to set out on an adventure around the world. What did she learn from dating around the globe? Let's hear from Kat.
Kat. Meow. Hello. So the last time we spoke, or at least the last time you were on our show, you were about to become this globetrotter and date around the world.
Yeah.
And also report back what it's like to date around the world. So now it's your moment to report back. Where did you go, first of all? And then what were some of the main differences you saw in other dating scenes versus in how you were dating in San Francisco?
Yeah, so I was kind of all over the place, mostly in South America.
Mm-hmm.
So started in the Caribbean and then traveled down through South America. And then I spent some time in Bali as well, in Indonesia. And then for the past couple months, I've been in Mexico City. So So I've kind of been all over the place.
And have you dated in every city?
I wouldn't say dated because, and this is the weird thing, like before I left, I felt like when I went abroad, I would be dating the way that I dated here. Like meeting someone, like going on a date, like seeing if you like them, etc., etc. And then I quickly realized, like, I'm reverting back to like my 21-year-old self. I'm staying in hostels. I'm hooking up with random like foreign guys. Like,
Oh my God. Is it because it's different there? Do you think it's because you were like an expat traveling?
I think like both reasons. So I was in like this group of like travelers because I was like more focused on traveling. I was staying in hostels, right? So you have other people that are also like backpackers and stuff. So you're in more of like a party.
Yeah.
Party vibe. So I like reverted back to college level. Yeah, college level stuff. And like I was meeting amazing people, but I wasn't thinking like, oh, I need to go on a date with them. No. Like we hang out and we do fun activities together because we're both traveling the world and seeing stuff. So it's just like
And then hook up.
And then hook up. Like, hello.
What's the point? No, then we massage each other's toes.
What's the point, right? Sometimes I would meet other people who were traveling. Sometimes I would meet like local people. I remember like in Patagonia, I was in the middle of nowhere in Patagonia. It was like the last place I would ever think that I would ever find a guy. And I will walk into a bar and it's like a 12 walks over to like wait on me. And I'm like, what the hell?
12? Like in the 10-point scale?
Yeah.
What? So he's like gorgeous.
This gorgeous Argentinian guy. We shacked up in his shack that he was living
like
in.
literally shacked up.
Shacked up in a shack. And like, that was really lovely. But it's like, okay, now I'm leaving. And we still keep in touch and stuff. So it was more like organic.
What's the craziest story
Give
you
us a
had?
highlight.
The craziest is by far Brazil. Brazil is, in terms of like being sexually open, Brazil's probably the most sexually open place I've ever been to. It's very much like, why wouldn't you have sex with someone that you're attracted to, right? The whole like holding back is not a thing.
No. And men and women are equally as aggressive sexually?
You know, I think men are still more, but women are definitely like down to get down. It's not like the women are holding out, right? So
they're not waiting for the third date.
No, are they dating though? There's no dating, right? Or
yeah, I mean, people do date there. Like they go out with each other and have relationships and stuff, but it's definitely more free. If you meet someone at a bar or you meet someone out, like you're gonna go have sex with them. Like, why would you not do that?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Where here it's almost looked down on a little.
Yeah. Totally.
So there's no walk of shame then.
Walk of fame.
Well, it's a walk of fame for everyone, right? It's like, yeah, I just had sex. What did you do?
I've had so many walks of fame in Brazil. Like, I've come with like carnival, like glitter everywhere, walking into like the bakery on it's a Tuesday at 8 a.m. I've got glitter all over my face and people are like, hey, know what you've been up to?
Yeah. Does anyone judge you there? Are they like high-fiving you?
Or they're like, this happens all the time.
Everyone's having a good time. Everyone's having a good time.
So you're getting to your craziest moment in Brazil.
Yeah, so I'm proud to say that in Brazil, I had my first threesome.
Oh.
Wow. 2 guys or
with
what?
2 guys.
Okay.
How was that?
It was everything I could have dreamed of and more.
Ooh, 2 dicks, 1 chick. Tell us more.
Give us logistics.
Well, I'm not going to go that far into it, but it was just like one of those things that happened really organically, and I was just like hanging out. This guy started talking to me in the bathroom, and then like ended up hanging out with him and his friend and went back to like their hotel. I thought it was just going to be with one guy, and then I got like, nope, it was 2, and they just started going after it. I'm not going to say no to this
Yeah.
right now.
No.
Yeah, and I just remember the next day coming home and just being like,
Yes!
And I think I'm pretty sure I sent you guys a video or something.
Oh, yeah.
You
Not-
did.
wait,
You
just to
did.
clarify, a video of you telling us a story,
Yeah.
not a video of the threesome, which I would have paid to see, but
You sent us the wrong video.
yeah, that was the wrong video.
Yeah, so I feel like I really got to explore my sexuality in Brazil a lot. And like, I'm a sexual person, and there it was just completely fine to like let your freak flag fly, right?
Yeah.
Like everyone makes out with each other like really quickly.
Yeah.
You could meet someone for like 5 minutes and they go in to kiss
Yeah.
you, and that's completely normal. People on the street will kiss each other.
So I remember one of your complaints about dating in SF
Uh-huh.
was that SF men weren't aggressive.
Oh, this is the opposite.
And this is clearly the opposite.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts now that you've experienced the opposite?
I love the opposite.
Is it weird being back? Are you like, why is nobody making out with me yet?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much know, like, when I come back to San Francisco, I'm like, it's gonna be my celibacy
Yeah.
period of time. Like, it's true. Like,
Give your vagina a rest.
yeah, I mean, it's
like a
time to
retreat.
it's time to recover. You know what I mean? Like,
Vagina.
Where are you going? A vagina retreat, aka San Francisco.
it's kind of true, though. It's like, well, this is, I'm gonna take a break from my waxing, like, get it all, back in order.
Now, in Brazil, did you find was there anything that you weren't okay with or weren't comfortable with?
I think the main thing in Brazil was like, it was so much fun. And it was like during summer and Carnival, it's partying. Everyone is hooking up, like having very casual situations. One thing that's very common there is people cheating on each other.
Mm.
I met a lot of people that were like, I need to be in an open relationship, or there's like one side that they're like, Catholic and have that, but then they also have this like progressive side too, where not natural to only be with one person all the time. And so that's like more of a discussion. I was thinking to myself, like, would I be okay being with a man knowing that he was going to be with other women?
Right.
And because that's kind of the standard there, I would say. I mean, not everyone, but
A lot.
And I was thinking to myself, like, if I were to fall in love with someone here, it's almost like you have to kind of set the expectation, like, okay, are you going to be with other people? Like, I know you probably are, so let's have that conversation. And like, what are the boundaries of our situation?
Well, it's like the consequence of being so overly sexual.
Yeah.
That like, this is what happens.
Yeah. And I was with guys who later on, I would ask them straight up if they were married, and they would like lie to my face. You know what I mean?
Isn't that that's so weird? Is that on one hand, it's like, oh, it's expected that people cheat, but on the other hand, they're lying about it because it's still wrong. People do it, but it's still wrong.
They want you to hook up with them, so they know that if they say yes, you're going to be like no, or less likely, right?
Yeah, or taken back,
So are you okay with that?
I still haven't really figured it out, but what I do know is that I'm way more open to giving other types of relationships a chance.
Like non-monogamy.
Or non-monogamy, or like bisexuality.
Oh.
And I met a guy who was bisexual, who I was attracted to.
In Brazil.
In Colombia.
Okay.
He told me he was bisexual, and I said, oh, normally that would be like a turnoff to me. And he kind of like put me in my place. Like,
oh, interesting.
Like, women need to accept men being like more open with their sexuality, and everyone should be like that in general. And I was like, wow, I'm meeting like progressive, people are making me like be like, yeah, I should be okay with that. Like,
it's interesting because San Francisco is so progressive. It's
Right.
interesting
Yeah.
that you're feeling this
I know.
in
I
other
know.
countries.
I'm meeting people who are also traveler,
Right.
who live different lifestyles than like the normal person.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But when you meet local people, it is different. Like, they tend to be more traditional type
True.
people.
That
It's
makes
this
sense.
cohort of people.
It
who
is.
are
It makes sense why it
traveling.
might be more like you're on vacation, you're
Yeah.
drinking a lot, you're partying a lot, you're hooking up. Like, so.
Totally.
So where are you now?
So right now I'm in San Francisco, so I'm pretty celibate.
Vagina retreat.
Vagina
I'm
retreat.
on a vagina retreat right now, but I'm gonna be going back to Brazil.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Gonna give that vagina a rest.
Yeah.
Give it a rest.
You gotta,
I'm preparing.
She deserves that little reprieve.
After this past year, I was really open to like whatever was coming my way.
Mm-hmm.
And I was not closed off to a relationship, but I wasn't necessarily like seeking out a relationship. I was more like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm still kind of continuing in that way, but do feel like I would like to find a partner sometime
In Brazil.
It doesn't have to be in Brazil.
But you're choosing to go back to Brazil.
I'm not choosing the places based off of like where I think I'm going to find my best chance of finding a person or a partner, right? I'm going to places that make me feel happy.
Is there anything you miss about dating in San Francisco?
Not really, to be honest. Not really. I definitely like felt like here guys would like take me out more.
Yeah,
You
like a
felt
proper date.
Yeah, you felt like it was like a proper date where most of what I was doing was meeting people at parties or meeting people out just like in normal life, which is like more organic. But it wouldn't be a big production of, oh, I have to do this. It would just be like, hey, well, do you want to hang out later? I'm going to go do this. You want to come with me?
Right. It's more casual.
It's more casual. Yeah, so it feels like a younger version.
But also, it's a product of what you were doing, too.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for that update.
Yeah. Anytime.
Once you get to Brazil, we probably won't be hearing from you.
Only if there's another threesome.
But
Then we'll
once you-
get the video.
but once you
Send
get-
us the right video.
Send us
this
the
time.
right video. But when you're done with the sex dungeon there, you can always let us know what's up if you revisited some old lovers, if you wanted to pursue something with someone.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely let us know all of that.
I will keep you posted.
We know you will. We know you will, Kat. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Have
Safe
fun
travels.
in Brazil.
I will. See you later.
If you remember from season 4, episode 6, Sheel came on our show talking about perceptions and misconceptions. From his social media, it seems that Sheel doesn't have time to date. He's always traveling and doing cool things, but didn't exactly give off the boyfriend vibe. However, Sheel was so ready to find the one. During that episode, we gave his Bumble profile a makeover to give off a more serious vibe. So, did it work? Let's find out.
Hey,
Sheel! Yay!
Hey.
Hi, we haven't talked to you in so long. Wait, I hear a woman's voice. Sheel, tell us everything that has happened since your episode. So, just a quick reminder in case you don't remember. On your episode, we talked about perception and how you gave off this perception, at least on social media, that you're always traveling the world, out of town, at cool events, doing cool things, so inaccessible and unreachable. And now you have some news to tell us, yes?
Yeah, I'm engaged.
Woo! How did you guys meet? Tell us everything because we haven't talked to you in so long.
Well, introduce your fiance first.
Hi there, it's Katrina. How are you both?
Nice to meet you. Oh, we want to hear everything about you. About to marry one of the most eligible bachelors in San Francisco.
So he tells me.
So tell us the whole story. How did you guys meet?
We both swiped right
Oh, on Tinder.
on Bumble.
On Bumble.
Nice. Wait, is this after UA helped you update your Bumble profile?
It could be. Actually, it could be that I have you guys to thank for this.
You're welcome.
When we
made me
called
sound
you
like
out
douchey.
on the profile.
Yeah, you did.
When did this happen? When did you guys match?
Well, we met in September of last year. We probably matched in August or something. There was a while between our matching and actual first date.
Why? Because you were like in Zimbabwe or something?
Yeah, I was traveling. Get to that. Well, actually, it gets even worse after our first date because, like, in between each of our next several dates, I was like in some other country.
Of course.
It was like every other week I was gone.
First 3 months, I'd say.
The first 3 months, yeah.
So in those first 3 months, how often did you guys see each other?
In between the first and second date, there was a while, right? Like 10 days or something.
Yeah.
But then after that, it was like very regular. Most days that I was in town.
Then he'd be gone a week and then back for 5 days.
Oh
and then
my
he'd go to
God.
Russia and then be back for 5 days.
Okay, so Katrina, what made Sheel worthwhile? All of this in and out, in and out.
I mean, Sheel and I both dated exhaustively.
Mm-hmm.
And I could tell kind of on the first date that he was smart, sweet, interesting guy. And we didn't have like a ton of chemistry, I'd say, on the first date, or like it wasn't like a oh my God, like I can't wait to go on a second date with you sort of a date. But I could definitely tell that he was worth a second date. And then our second date, we like giggled on my fire escape for 6 hours. So it was a it was a solid second date.
But yeah, definitely would second that I would say after our first date I wasn't sure that there would be a second.
Oh, why is that from your point of view?
Like it was good but not great. And also I felt like after we had met for like a tea at Samovar and it was only maybe an hour date. I was like motioning like, oh, let's do something else. And she was kind of like, let's go home. Or like, go home separately. To be fair.
Thanks for the clarification. I was like, wow, things are happening at Samovar Tea Lounge.
And so I was like, okay, well, that was cool. Like, she's smart and funny and beautiful, but I don't know where it's gonna go. And then we had good, like, witty text banter.
Oh.
Afterwards.
It didn't start as witty text banter. He sent me the table of a screenshot of the table of contents of a book he was reading.
Wow, that's sexy.
Reading by the CEO of a hedge fund. So that's very, very exciting stuff.
Oh wow, that's riveting. So then, okay, how did that turn into witty banter and flirtations?
He was traveling and we were just kind of riffing back and forth. You know, he was in Japan and I was making karaoke suggestions. I was walking through his neighborhood in the Mission and he was like, oh, like, you know, stop here and looking forward to seeing you.
Yeah.
So when did that second date come around?
I think it was 10 days after the first.
Yeah.
So how did it go from neither one of you thinking that there will be a second date to a second date? It's time to take a quick break so we can tell you about the latest service we have been building over here at DATEABLE. We've created a platform to connect you with vetted experts from our network to help with everything from coaching with dating, therapy, dating profile reviews, and even ways to get real feedback about your dating style. The sessions typically run from 30 minutes to an hour and can all be done via Skype or Google Hangouts, so you can be anywhere. Listeners have been sharing how worthwhile their sessions have been with comments about how easy the coaches are to talk to, how they have provided a new perspective, and how they have created actionable ways to inspire change. To meet the coaches and book your session today, visit dateablepodcast.com/coaching. Now back to the show. So how did it go from neither one of you thinking that there will be a second date to a second date? What happened?
Just that text banter was really good. Quality text banter meant, oh, this is something for real.
And so, Sheel, did you ask Katrina out on a second date?
Yeah.
And I want to know, Katrina, what did you think of Sheel when you, like, knowing him for a little bit, seeing that he travels so much? What made you feel like there was potential for something long-term?
So something that Sheel did that I really liked is that he and I were able to kind of have the conversation early on as far as, like, hey, like, what are you looking for? And it wasn't a personal thing. Like, I think sometimes people, like, feel like that sort of question is, like, perceived as needy or something. But it was just a conversation. Like, hey, like, this is what I'm looking for. Like, what are you looking for out of curiosity? So we had the conversation pretty early on. I feel like Sheel, like, even, like, in the, like, second or third date is, like, I'm looking for a long-term partner. And I like, you know, funny, interesting people. I never had the kind of the sensation before. And I'd always kind of taken it with a grain of salt when other people said this. But kind of in the first 2 months that we were dating, I was like, oh man, like, I think I might be dating my husband.
Wow. When did you guys transition from dating to an actual full-out relationship?
A month and a half in.
Yeah, like pretty early on for both of us.
And
yeah,
was that a
both,
conversation?
Like, yeah, we agreed to be mutually exclusive and kind of talked about kind of how we were feeling about each other.
And Sheel, when did you know?
Yeah.
I don't remember if there was like a moment pretty early on also, like very early on. I was like, oh yeah, this is like super for reals.
And what made Katrina different than the other women that you had dated?
She's really easygoing and understanding, and then also just like really a great partner to like talk to and have stupid banter with.
And then let's go straight into the proposal. Tell us how you planned it and what happened.
I'm not that romantic.
Sheila's quite the planner.
Oh boy.
I think it was in July we were in Portland. Katrina's mom took us to this resort place, and we were like, oh, this would be like an interesting place to get married. I think we kind of knew we wanted to get married in 2019 sometime in Portland. There are only a few months, the weather's great. So we talked to their wedding planner person and then realized like these things book up really fast. So like from a pragmatic perspective, like, okay, well, like we're not going to get a venue before we get engaged. So I guess we should get engaged.
So, I mean, we've been talking about getting married from like month 3 as we're like a really amazing match. We moved in together around May, and Sheel was kind of like, I'm ready whenever. Some conversations. So I didn't want it to be like a surprise and 10 of his friends jump out to take pictures of us and have it be like an Instagram proposal. I don't want like the biggest decision of our lives to be like a surprise moment. Like I want us to have like a series of conversations about what marriage means to us. So it was actually like I think kind of July and August we were kind of talking kind of through that stuff in a conscientious way. We were like looking on Google for like the New York Times like premarital questions.
Yes, that's so important.
They were all terrible, by the way. They didn't do anything for us.
Oh, really? What's an example of a question?
What happens if you're like run out of money or one partner's in debt?
Right.
Like, a lot of them were financially, and I think that tends to be the thing that breaks a lot of people up. I don't remember the other ones. I just remember them not really being that applicable.
Right. But also some of them, I'm sure, opens up another topic that is applicable.
Yeah, and it like I think that like there were no like shocking answers there for either of us, but it was more nice to just kind of spend that like mindful attention beforehand of like, oh yeah, like we're like really investing in the foundation of our relationship before like making this huge decision. So.
Katrina, what is your relationship background? Because it sounds like you have experience going through kind of like this thought process.
Well, I've not been engaged before. This is my, my first time. Yeah, I've been in several long-term relationships. I've been in San Francisco for 3 years and have been dating for kind of the better part of that, and have had a couple longer relationships in that time. I've really tried to like study a relationship. I'm very much like a self-help book person.
Which I am not.
Shocker.
So poor Sheel, our bookshelf has like 15 like relationship and love books that I like to pour through for self-taught, how to be mindful in a relationship and different like methods of communication. Yeah, so that's kind of my general background.
That's what you need though. You kind of need that in a relationship. So Sheel's very lucky.
Sorry, I love your guys' recent podcast with the Northwestern.
Marriage 101. I know. Don't you wish they offer that when we were in undergrad? I mean, I would have taken that class many times.
100%. She was great.
She was fantastic. So when's the wedding?
October of 2019, and it's going to be in Portland. We've rented out a summer camp.
Oh, fun.
We're going to do like an Indian fusion meets the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, my God.
Fun.
Love it.
Yeah, and it's a summer camp I actually went to as a kid. So it's like 1920s split timber with stone fireplaces and a river that runs through it. It's really great. Yeah, we're excited. And because Sheel's Indian, we're going to have like 2 different big ceremonies with hundreds of people leading up to it. So,
amazing.
Kind of having 3 weddings.
Isn't that what always happens?
Yeah.
Indian weddings.
That's the way it should be.
Well, Sheel, you said you were looking for the real deal when we talked to you.
Yeah.
Then your profile reflected it, and now look what you got.
Yeah. So again, you're welcome, Sheel. You're welcome.
So yeah, I owe you guys.
Oh, congratulations, you guys. This is such good news, and we love hearing it because, you know, when we did the episode with Sheel, we're like, oh my God, this guy is such an eligible bachelor.
He's such a catch.
He's so ready.
So genuine.
We're just gonna
keep complimenting you, Sheel.
Yeah, like you have to.
I'm just sitting here taking it all in.
You're like nodding. I'm like, yep, I agree with you guys.
No, I'm kidding.
So glad you guys found each other, and it sounds like this is just magic.
And a Bumble success story.
In a Bumble success story. But I still think you guys would have met each other in some capacity, so that's just way
I
fate
don't
works.
know.
We didn't have any mutual friends when we met.
Wow, that's rare, because Sheel knows
Pretty
everyone.
rare.
Yeah.
It's rare. And
It happens.
And I work in healthcare, and I was interviewing for a job in the Middle East when we met.
What?
Wow.
Wow.
Our paths likely would not have crossed, but
Okay, fine. We'll give Bumble credit. Fine. But again,
and
congratulations.
you guys, my profile editors.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. We know how to play that Bumble game.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations again. Thanks so much for
Thanks so
taking the
much.
time and updating us on this great news. We might do another update
guys.
after the wedding.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
And who could forget polarizing guest Bottle Ned from Season 5, Episode 1? His advice to his fellow SF daters is to date outside of San Francisco. He likes to go north, countryside, where there's less smartphones and more farmers' daughters. Has his strategy changed? Let's find out.
Ned?
Hello?
Hey, Ned.
Hey, you're on my Bluetooth. Yeah, I'm talking to you on a device.
Whoa. Okay, tech bro.
You're on speakerphone as well.
Oh, cool. One of those idiots walking around San Francisco with their little headset things. You can't tell if they're like crazy or they're like talking to someone or they're themselves or.
So that's you now?
I just wish they were crazy, all of them. I got done digging early and I'm driving up to Grass Valley. Wah!
Why are you going there?
To see a girl.
Oh.
Which reminds me of a story. Did you guys call to catch up on the last like several months of my fucking disaster? I mean, my dating life?
No, this is why we're doing this call right now, to check in with you.
Tell us everything.
Oh boy. Okay, let me just fill you in on this. Okay, here's a rant. Ready? I decided I was having some issues with the Tinder machine, because it seemed like I was getting a lower hit rate. And so I was like, what the hell's going on here? And then Zach, he's like totally into like the San Francisco scene, and he's like, hey Ned, you should try Hinge. That's where all the girls are down, Ned. And I'm like, okay, that's what's going on. So I got me a Hinge account, and I was like, okay, my Hinge isn't working as well as my GPS on my Tinder. It's actually like whenever I go out of town, it still gets me San Francisco people, and I'm like, okay, I might as well go for San Francisco fucking people. I'm gonna give them another chance.
Oh, hey. Ned. Okay.
So, all right, no, wait, let me finish. I Tinder me up this girl who works in the financial district, and she's 30, and she's like basically everything I hate. And I'm like, okay, let me just give this person a chance. She sounds really nice. Start hanging out with her. The whole thing is just like her ridiculing me about, oh, why aren't you working today? I'm like, I'm a fucking actor, dude. I do auditioning, and then if I'm lucky, I fucking work like more than like twice a week or like once a week or whatever. And she's like just ridiculed, but then also she's like really immature, and I'm like, dude, like all the fucking girls that are like 10 years younger than you that I usually go for are like way more mature than you. But she's always like, I want to party all the time. I do not want kids. I am serious. I do not know. That would make me old. The constant ridicule and the kind of overall immaturity that she had, ironically, pointing out my immaturity, which is just like tedious. And then she went out of town on some leisure trip, and then like I didn't hear from her. And I'm like, okay, since I'm stuck in the Bay Area on this fucking Hinge thing. So I meet this girl in Berkeley, right? And she seems totally normal. We have a conversation about like different kinds of shit that we've taken throughout our lives. And it was like a really great conversation. She was like, oh, I remember I did this one shit, and it was like,
wait, shit?
Back
Did you
up,
say
Ned.
ship or shit?
Yeah, I heard ship.
shit. We were talking about our bowel movement.
Wait, this was a conversation on Hinge that you
And it was a nice
It was a
conversation?
great conversation on Hinge.
So you were like, this is the one.
I'm like, I love this person already. This is great. She's 24. She's like goes to Berkeley or whatever, and has a job as like a lab technician. I'm like, she's legit, too legit to shit. Or not legit, but also
Okay.
shit.
So did you meet up with her?
And so I meet up with her, and she's like late. She's like 20 minutes late. And I'm like, oh, what happened to you? We meet up on the Berkeley campus, just as a landmark, And I'm like, what happened to you? And she's like, oh, sorry, I was giving the guy a rim job.
What?
I'm like, what the fuck? And completely just nonchalant, just totally casual.
What?
And I'm like, what? Say again? Because we'd have like a really kind of basic conversation for like 10 minutes, and then she said this, like when I asked her, oh, why were you late? And just casually, almost like she was saying, oh, I just had to stop by the fucking store and pick up some milk. And I'm like, what do you what do you mean, like, you're getting this and you got rims up? Surely you're joking, you know? And she's like, no, see, I'm on this other app, right? There's this app called Seeking Arrangements, and, you know, I need extra money for school.
Oh my
so
God.
it's no big deal.
Oh
Like,
my
I just need
gosh.
I'm a sugar baby, and, like, I meet up with these guys who work in the Silicon Valley, and they're older, and
Oh
they,
my God.
they pay me $500 to fuck them and do weird stuff. And I'm like, so right before you came here, you were getting a rim job, a guy who worked at Cisco or something, you know? And she's like, yeah, you know, I'm thinking, like, these evil apps, they've normalized, like, prostitution. And she's like, no, it's okay. Like, all my friends do it. I'm like, your friends are you're all hookers now. What are you talking about? It's okay. It's not okay.
So I take it that one didn't work out?
Well, at the end of the day, she's trying to make out with me. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to make out with you. You just, like, licked some guy's asshole. What? I was like, flabbergasted. I'm like, no, I mean, actually, you're a really fun person to talk to, but to be honest, like, I'm not cool with this completely. Like,
Oh my God.
I have to process this.
So what's the latest, or is there anything worse than this?
So the latest is I went back to Grass Valley. I went back to the freaking heart of America or whatever, where all the hicks are. I was like, I can't handle the Bay Area anymore. I'm done. So I went back to Grass Valley for an antique bottle show, and I was digging last weekend, and I was Tindering while I was out of the hole, and somebody else was in the hole. And I Tindered me a cool girl, like artsy-looking chick who made arts and crafts, and she's super pretty. And so I meet up with her, and it's kind of run down, and she's like, see that flooring? Yeah, I put that flooring in. It's not perfect. I'm like, are you kidding me? Every girl in San Francisco would even know, like, what a piece of a 2x4 is, let alone how to put flooring in. This is really impressive. And I was, like, fawning all over because I was so impressed with her. And she has her own business. She leveraged her artistic abilities and her carpentry skills to have this business. Like, this is amazing. And then I'm thinking, I could find myself getting really into this person. I should just ask this person to fucking marry me as soon as possible just so I can stop being single. For the love of God, please, I just need to stop being single in this day and age, like ASAP, you know, before everyone becomes a hooker, you know. And I'm thinking all this, I'm like, okay, well, what's the fucking big problem going to be? I'm sure there's going to be some huge issue with this girl, like every single other fucking girl for the past 15 years. Like, she's going to seem all cool, and then there's going to be some problem. But she's talking to me, and we start smoking some weed together. And then she's like, yeah, you know, and like, you know, I got diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome. And I'm like, oh, whoa, I might have that, like a mild version. And she's like, yeah, you know, I'm functioning, but I had this body fixation too, so I never want to get pregnant. I'm like, oh man, like, and then I'm thinking, like, maybe I could just marry her, and like, she could give me one of her eggs, and then I could get some sperm, and then put the egg into a surrogate mother, and then inject my sperm into the egg, and we can kind of have a child anyway. I don't mind paying. I'll fucking pay. I'll do anything. Just please marry me. And she's like, I got my fallopian tubes removed, sterilized. And I'm like, no.
Wait,
and,
but
and then she's
you
like,
want kids,
no,
Nick?
oh, hell yeah. I want a little version of me. I don't want to die alone. What are you kidding me? I want kids. I'm not scared of my own mortality. I'll
Aw.
reproduce myself and then die. Sure. This was kind of a buzzkill, you know, obviously. And I'm like, well, I guess it can't get any worse than that. And then she's like, so I went down to South America, and, you know, I was working at this restaurant and learning Spanish without knowing any Spanish prior to that. And I'm like, wow, that's really impressive of you, you know. I started working at this restaurant. There was like these 5 Italian guys. We had this real cool like group sex one night after we closed the doors. It was me and 5 Italian guys all at once. I'm like, I don't know whether to be like turned on or like positively disgusted, you know. At that point, I got this strange like semi boner, but at the same time, I was like, that's coolish, I guess. You know, you're hypersexual. So I'm like, okay, not too bad. I could still probably work with this. I'm like, well, you seem like a really sexual person. And she's like, well, you know, from when I was 19 years old to like 21, I used to be a escort. I'm like,
Wow.
yeah, escort.
Oh my God.
Like, oh, this is what I got into. Like, fucking girls up there, a lot of them are hookers at some point in their life because they're fucking poor and they have no family that's like present for them and they need money. And so I'm like, okay, don't be judgmental. Don't be judgmental. But I'm just imagining her being corrupted by these.
Wait, Ned. Okay, who are you gonna go see right now? Is this the same girl, different girl?
It's the same girl.
Oh, okay. So you're still seeing her.
Well, you know, it's a lot to deal with. I had to leave and kind of process all that. I said, I'm gonna have to take off. I'm really high right now, and I'm freaking out, and it's a lot to hear at once. And then I called, you know, 20 of my close friends and family, and basically the thing was like, you should just flirt with this person because this person has like a very similar personality. He's very creative, and
So you guys are dating ish.
I don't know. This is like the 3rd time I've seen her. Like the last time I saw
Okay.
her,
So it's new.
we hung out at this beautiful Victorian Christmas, and it was really literally like everything I've always wanted, like a
It
weekend.
sounds like the lesson learned here is you can't judge someone from their history. You just have to start fresh with them.
Yeah, you can't judge someone from their history. You gotta fucking focus on the present and enjoy that person in the moment, because the history of that person made them who they are today. And if you like who they are today, you have to acknowledge and appreciate almost and accept it.
Exactly. And we've all done things in the past that we're not maybe proud of. It's nice that she disclosed this, but I think most people probably wouldn't disclose their sexual history like this, right?
That's the thing. She's really, really hyper honest, and it's really cool. I love crazy people because they're interesting. Nothing is worse than mediocrity. She's an extremely talented, intelligent person.
Well, just keep an open mind, and I think you're having a good time after what you've been through with the other. So, I think you're on a good path to a different mindset when it comes to dating. We'll just put it at that.
If this doesn't work out, are you still anti-SF?
I'm gonna have to go ahead and say a pretty hard yes, but I like to be open minded, and there's always those outliers within. You can always find angels in hell. Wait, maybe you can't. That would contradict the whole concept of hell. I guess I don't know what other analogy to be, but you could find gems in fucking the desert of quartz crystals.
So you're open.
Yeah,
But you're open. That's all that matters. You're open to it all.
You got to be open, man. In life, you have to maintain openness, or else as soon as you close yourself off, you're fucked.
You heard it here first. You just can't be closed off to anything. Ned, it was great catching up with you. You're always so entertaining and
Candid.
Offers great stories,
Well,
and
you gotta be candid. You
we'll
gotta
catch
talk
up
to it.
another time with all this. But we won't stop you. We're not going to hold you back from
Oh,
your
yeah, I'm just
rendezvous
trying to
today.
like
So,
a bad rotor.
all right, we'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye, Ned.
So here's some updates from the Dateable team. We've hit over 100 episodes this year. This was a really big year for us. We surpassed 1 million listens, and we just finished season 7. And what's really exciting is that this year we went outside of San Francisco, including cities like LA, New York, Chicago, Dallas, and moving to global cities like Toronto, London, Oslo, and Sydney. So we really thank these listeners and guests who've joined from these cities. It's always fun to expand outside of San Francisco and see what you guys are up to. And some other exciting things, we were on the Ryan Scott Show on KGO Radio. We've had numerous articles that featured us, including ones in Huffington Post and Bustle. And for a personal update, without divulging too many details, Julie and I both have new men in our lives. It's very exciting. We also want to give a shout out to our sound engineer, Nick. Ladies, he is single and ready to mingle. So if you want to meet someone who's been working on our sound, reach out to us and we'll pass along your information to him. All right, Dateable family, again, happy holidays, happy new year, and we will see you in 2019. Stay dateable. This episode of Dateable is brought to you by 500 Brunches. 500 Brunches connects like-minded people with similar interests to meet in real life over brunch. You answer a quick questionnaire about your interests and how you spend your time, and then they'll match you in small groups of 6 to 8 at a brunch spot in San Francisco. Get a free entry into a brunch now by signing up at 500brunches.com and using the code DATEABLE.
If you didn't know already, we have a revamped website with articles, videos, and content all about modern dating. You can also find our premium Why series, where we dissect, analyze, and offer solutions to some of the most common dating conundrums. We've had some great feedback about how actionable these episodes are, so check them out on our website or iTunes Music. Also, visit the site today to see the latest about coaching, where we connect you with Dateable approved experts to help with everything from dating profile reviews, coaching, and even gathering real feedback about your dating style in a personalized and affordable way. To connect with us, visit dateablepodcast.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all under Dateable Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and auto-download the podcast on iTunes or your favorite podcast player so you never miss an episode.